There's the most obvious type of story, the one that people always think of when they think of a story in the traditional sense, the dialogue and characters and progression. But there's the narrative of the explorer. Sort of which areas to go to first and second and third. That's going to really form your impression, and the player impression is everything when it comes to a video game and story. It's the perception; it becomes reality. If they go to a combat area first, they're going to perceive this world as a very harsh place. If they go to a town first, where there's a lot of dialogue or trading, they're going to see it as more of a social environment, and that kind of forms their ongoing impressions. So that's the narrative of the explorer. The narrative of combat. You think of a boxing match. Moment to moment, second to second, every move, every jab, every duck, every foot movement. It's almost like a story and a story in itself. It's sort of it's a very fast moving story, but your tactics that you choose in battles in a game are actually a type of story as well. And it's really neat actually seeing the telemetry written out after a player plays a game and just seeing what they've chosen to do, tactical, moment to moment. That's a type of narrative, I think. The narrative of customization progression is another story. It's like a hero's journey or a villain's journey, depending on what kind of character you like to play. If you display that, like we're doing, say, on a social site like social.bioware.com, you can actually see sort of the narrative of your hero's journey and display it out. And every player has a different hero's journey. And it's really neat to see the comparison side by side and said, really, you did that at that point. Rather than going here, you went here and you got this cool new suit of armor, and that allowed you to defeat this dragon and allowed you to move on here and talk to these guys and get a new quest and head back. It's like, it's really divergent and it's really interesting. And that really, when you see stories exposed side by side, you understand how unique and differentiated game stories are from the linear media. And I guess that's part of why it's an art form, I see, is because you can touch people on an emotional level, and you actually have the player at the center as the actor and also simultaneously the director, and sometimes even the content creator if they're making user-generated content of this experience at all at the same time. It's amazing.